I thought there was genuine excitement over each of the presentations. I think one of the most important things that I learned from the session and the discussion today was that among the most interesting features of the Western Summit excavations at Sepphoris is the lack of clear and explicit remains from the late Hasmonean period and the early Roman period, when Herod Antipas, son of Herod the Great, was there building and doing all the things we know from literary sources. We have one synagogue from the Byzantine period and none from the Roman period. So Chad Spigel, one of the presenters, asked, where are the synagogues?
Where are the synagogues?
Where are the synagogues for me to work with? So we explored verbally, where they might have been, how they might have been destroyed. And
well, what I would add to that is that one of the things that we talked about is the possibility that at least some of the Jewish residents of Sepphoris were not going to purpose-built synagogues, that is, buildings that were built just for that purpose, but rather were gathering for prayer in some of the larger residences which we found on the Western Summit, similar to the so-called house churches of early Christianity.
So this question will, bug people for a while to come. Who knows how it will end up.
Sean Burrus has done a wonderful job of analyzing and trying to find out what the objects all were and where they came from or what they were used for. And it seems to be quite clear that there's a level of sophistication in many of the small finds that indicate a connection with the larger Greco-Roman culture. In addition, though, one of the last things he pointed out is that there's also evidence not only of objects that were used on the site, but also that some of the objects point to manufacture at the site.
And I think Ben is the one who highlighted the lack of clear information about the late Hasmonean presence at Sepphoris. And
yeah, Alan has done a dissertation on feasting and banqueting practices in the Roman period, and he was able to see that the Jewish banqueting practices really had a lot in common with Greco-Roman practices. And he ties this in kind of to the development of hierarchies in the community and of community identity in terms of feasting practices.
While we resolve many questions,
more arose.
You never come to the end of questions that material culture and archaeology can raise. And so, but we deal with them, even though we don't deal with them all in a conclusive way, but that's the nature of the beast. That's the nature of archaeology. We're grateful that ASOR is able to accommodate so many important digs in their annual program, and really it fit in beautifully with so many interests in our intellectual audience, and the people here were just very responsive, and we're grateful that this venue, this annual meeting exists so that we can not only showcase some of our wonderful discoveries, but have these exciting dialogues and meetings about them.